Hi, I'm George Rosehart, executive producer at Sun City Television. SCTV began brainstorming ideas for the show to replace Healthy Eating with Leslie in February. Our group of SCTV volunteers discussed several different show ideas, but finally landed on a game show concept that would provide a different type of viewing experience for our resident viewers. In addition to our weekly news program, we have 5 monthly shows. Each of these 5 shows provides our viewers with a different type of program so that we can appeal to the various audience desires. The game show concept fit a really different type of approach. The In Our Neighborhoods show captures what is happening in our 58 neighborhoods here in Sun City, Hilton Head. We go into the field to capture neighborhood residents and their activities. With a game show, we could reverse the action and residents would come into our studio to participate with another neighborhood in a fun yet competitive game show. We know that our residents like trivia type activities. The annual Family Feud, sponsored by the Sun City Buckeye Group, has been very popular. Our group felt that we needed to add another element to the game show beyond just answering questions. Several of us remember the visual excitement from people participating in challenges that used objects that are commonly available around the house. Minute to Win It ran on NBC in prime time in 2010 and 2011, and then moved to the Game Show Network, where it ran from 2012 to 2014. Our group decided to mix trivia-type questions with Minute to Win It type challenges. We divided into 3 groups. One would work developing questions and concepts. Another would collect physical dexterity type challenges with household objects in competitions that could be run in our small studio. And the third group worked on the production techniques in order to pull this all off in a studio that's about the size of your living room. Larry Kilkoff helped lead the question group. Larry, how did your group come up with the question format and the categories?
Well, the idea of categories was playing off of programs like Jeopardy, where they obviously have different categories, and we felt that the category itself would be a clue to the contestant of where the question was going to go, what the subject matter related to it was. For example, places in the sun are places in and around Sun City, geographic locations, historical street names, what have you. So you know that that's where the questions are going to be related to. Sounds of your generation, classic rock, it's music that we all grew up with. So you're going to be within that category. That helps the contestant a great deal right there. As far as the structure of the questions, whether it be open-ended, multiple choice, true, false, we didn't really address that specifically. I felt that an open-ended question and the way that they were written was important, rather than just ask who was the first female vice president candidate, for example. I had a question that tied in with the fact that Sarah Palin wasn't, therefore who was. So you try to write the questions to make it interesting. For the viewer at home, and also maybe even in the writing of the question, you can give a tip or clue to the contestant where the answer is. Just maybe making a reference to Sarah Palin might trigger the idea that it was Geraldine Ferraro, that type of thing.
Right.
Sarah Palin was not the first woman nominated for Vice President of the United States, by a major political party, that is. Who was?
Geraldine Ferraro.
That is right. Congratulations.
Now, I think one of your group's goals was also to try to educate the audience at home, maybe more about South Carolina or the Low Country, because most of our residents are from other parts of the country.
Right. That was one of the challenges as well. We wanted to leverage, if you will, the fact that so many of us are new here and have a lot to discover about South Carolina and the Low Country, and at the same time draw from whatever experiences and knowledge base we have from our experiences being from either New York or the Midwest or the Far West, whatever it may be. So that's where you get into the localized specific questions, but the general interest subject matter questions as well. And another thing we had to deal with was the general issue of question difficulty. How do you do that? In Jeopardy, they rank it according to dollar value. We've done it by making the question selection at random. Given that there's really no way to predict whether a specific question is for a specific contestant is going to be supremely difficult or supremely easy, we went with the random draw sort of aspect for the thing to make it fair to both teams.
Now talk about fun and games. That's another category.
Fun and games is at this point the games and recreational activities and opportunities we have here in Sun City. Specific sports like pickleball or pickle tennis lend themselves to questions and focus that I don't think we thought about much about growing up, because those are fairly new sports as you get into your retirement years. So, but yeah, they're specific recreational opportunities and sports geared to Sun City, softball teams, whatever they may be.
And then another category was it happened in your lifetime.
Happened in your lifetime is our general historical question category. We kind of set a time limit of about 85 years, kind of arbitrary. I wanted to cover everybody's potential age groups. But yeah, just general questions of a historical nature, world history, American history, that all of us have experienced in one way or another, or at least watched transpire over our lifetime.
Okay. Now, another tweak that we're thinking of making is, in the past we've had individuals answer the question, and we're thinking that maybe the way to go about it would be to have all 4 team members on camera and give them the question and let the group come up with the answer.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. In our first episode, we had a bonus question at the end, which involved a team huddle coming up as a group with the answer. But we could do that. Number one, you have to, people should remember that within the context of the game show, we've only got half of the show in the questions, the other half in the physical game aspect of things, and that in that half with the questions, you've only got one team member doing one question. So it's not as if you're a contestant and we're going to stand there bombarding you with questions, for 5 or 10 minutes. So with the sweat dripping off your head, that's not going to happen. Yeah. So, but yeah, you could do a team huddle if we wanted to do that.
Yeah, and another thing in talking to the people that have been in the 2 game shows already, our goal was to have it be a fun experience, and it turns out they all said that it was a fun experience. The mix of questions combined with the physical dexterity game challenges made it kind of fun to try to do things that we wouldn't normally do.
I've been overjoyed at the reaction of all the contestants that we've had on the show already. That's been number one.
Yeah, it was a great deal of fun.
I felt it was a lot of fun. We got to meet some new people.
I enjoyed it.
No, it was just a fun time.
And number two, because we did want to be fair with the difficulty of the questions, I've also been incredibly surprised at how some contestants have immediately answered questions that we kind of thought might be pretty difficult, and then others had difficulty with easier questions, which just goes to show it's really, really hard to predict that sort of thing on an individual basis. But yeah, the point really is for people to come in and have fun with it. And every one of them has, and I just know that other people, if they get four people together from your neighborhood, you don't have to have a group meeting with the neighborhood governance, or just 4 people in your neighborhood. You can represent your neighborhood. Come in, do the show. You will have fun.
And challenge friends that you have in another neighborhood.
Exactly.
Joy from Cedar Run. Are you ready to play It Happened in Your Lifetime? These questions are about historic events of the past 85 years. Joy, choose a question. Oh, nice choice.
Thank you.
What NBC Western became the first drama to be broadcast in color?
Bonanza.
That's right, it's Bonanza. You're getting a bonanza.
Yay, thank you.
Now, it's time for Bruce from Mariner's Cove to pick a question and play It Happened in Your Lifetime. That's a good one.
I'll bet it is.
What Army general was elected president in 1953?
Eisenhower.
Yes, Eisenhower.
It's a gimme.
It really was. All right, let's have Randy update our neighborhood team scores. Randy, what Sun City Sport Club typically plays at an indoor venue outside of Sun City gates during the winter? Annette.
Pickleball.
Not the answer that we were looking for. First category is called A Place in the Sun. These are questions about geographic locales in and around Sun City Hilton Head. On the north side of Highway 278 and immediately east of Sun City are 4 adjacent commercial business establishments. 2 of these businesses are restaurants. What commercial service do the other 2 businesses provide?
Firestone and AutoZone.
Very good. Auto parts and repair. We'll
Right.
take that. Okay. At what Sun City location would you find a golf putting green other than at any of the 3 official Sun City golf courses?
Up near the croquet fields
That's it, in town center.
in town center.
Correct.
Well, when we got to the stage where we needed to put the concept of the show together and begin, we felt we needed a host. And so we looked over to community theater and we managed to convince Jim Bruner to come on board and be the host of the game show. So, Jim, what role does the host play in this show?
Well, thank you. The host's biggest job is obviously to read the questions, but also to explain the game show so everybody feels comfortable and knows what's happening and can be okay with it. I also think that interjecting some humor every now and then is a good idea because it makes people feel comfortable and it adds some excitement.
Yeah, and people may feel a little leery getting in front of the camera, but
Yes.
basically they just talk to you.
That's what I try to do, and hopefully speaking a little bit to them, nudging a little bit before the cameras go on is very helpful.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said one of your roles is to explain the rules, but
Yes.
when the physical challenges take place, what do you do?
Well, somebody's got to monitor them to make sure there's no fouls or breaking of the rules, and I try to do that somewhat.
Or add something past the time limit?
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, stop again.
Well, you also try to create some excitement and that.
Yes.
And so, do you get to know the people before they come on the stage?
Not too much, but I try to just say a word or two to each person to see where they're from or see what's going on or something like that. Just to
Okay.
try to make them feel comfortable.
Now, we've had some participants say the game was fun, but what do you think of the game show?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can make almost anything fun if you want to, but this is good. This is really neat.
Good. Well, thanks for agreeing to host.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Can
And
I
now-
have that one?
Marcia. All right, rock and roll's most famous plane crash took the lives of Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. Richardson, who was more popularly known by what stage name?
The Big Bopper.
You got it, the Big Bopper. Time's up. Time's up. Oh, you sneaky.
Well, Randy Selman was one of the people that worked on the physical challenge side of the game development. And how did you decide what games would fit into our show?
Well, the first thing we had to do, George, was to decide how we are going to fit it in our small studio. In Minute to Win It, they have a big studio and a lot of room to do these these challenges, we only have a very small spot. So we had to figure out what could fit in our area. So we did the cup challenge where we had to build a tower with cups. We have the nut and stick challenge where we had to get the nuts onto the sticks, and just little things that could fit here, and they work beautifully.
Okay. Well, what else is involved in scoring?
Well, the scoring is the most important part to any challenge. First of all, we have some that are timed, so we have a timer, and the ones that aren't timed, we keep count ourselves. So if we have an M&M challenge, we have to keep count of all the M&Ms. Or if we have that nut and stick challenge, we have to keep a count of how many nuts go on the stick. Also, that was timed, so in that timed allowance.
Okay, great. Well, so we just see you come on and give the score, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes
There
stuff
is.
to make sure everything is on the up and up.
There is. Before I give my report, we make sure everything is accurate and honest.
Well, thanks for helping.
Thanks.
All right, time, stop
Oh my
the
God,
game.
that's hard.
Makes you dizzy, huh?
I know, it does.
Oh, right.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner, yay!
Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness.
Whoa, you got it.
Oh, wow, I'm impressed.
Come on, Lois. Keep going.
I mean, that's just...
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Ooh.
It's on, yes. 15 seconds.
15 seconds, man.
Come on. Oh,
There you go.
good, good, good.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Good.
Looking good, yeah.
One hand now, one hand twice.
One, two,
Here, here.
Oh, no.
one.
One hand. Time, stop the game.
I see what you mean by the
You are a little dizzy. You are a little dizzy after.
Go easy with those nuts. There you go, there you go.
Oh.
Oh.
Is there only just one stack, or can I do more than one?
One stack.
Shoot. This is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Come on, Kathy.
Come on, Kathy.
You can do it. Slow
Ah,
down.
she's got the range.
Yay! Now you got it.
Uh-oh.
You got it.
Uh-oh.
You
Wow.
got it.
You're on target. Boy, I tell you.
Got it. Got
What
it.
were you doing as a kid?
First to play is Bruce from Mariners Cove. And 1, 2, 3, go. Wow. Good so far. Right off.
Come on, Bruce.
Yeah, that's the tough
You
part.
can do it.
Wow. All right, one hand twice.
Come on.
Oh my God! Stop the game. Next, we'll see how your opponent will do in the blow, bounce, and dunk.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're teaching math.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Go,
great.
Jerry. Good.
Wow. There you go.
Good job.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, go, Jerry.
You need a longer chopstick.
Yeah.
Good, Jerry.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. We're gonna need another bag.
All right, one more and you got him?
Yay!
Stop the game.
Queen of the nuts.
BJ Batt is the editor, and he and I did some of the behind-the-scenes production work to try to figure out how we could run the game show in our studio. What were some of the challenges you had to overcome in order to put together a 26-minute game show?
There are quite a few. One of them is that we shoot in different segments. I think we have like 16 to 18 segments that we use. The questions, the games, also Randy giving the scores, and that all has to be cut together in some kind of a coherent, nice flow. every show has their own set of problems or issues that they have to overcome. We don't have the luxury of do-overs. If something happens, we can't re-ask the question again because they already know the answer.
Or redo the physical challenge wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, it's pretty much the one-shot deal. And the biggest challenge is either cutting it down to 26 minutes or speeding it up or spreading it out to cover the 26 minutes, because we can't really be sure how fast people are going to answer the questions. Some of the games we time for 45 seconds, but some of them they could be done in 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So then you got 30 seconds of not what.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is in television, we don't always shoot things in sequential order that you see at home. And in our case, it's easier for us to do all the questions up front and all the physical game challenges together at the end.
Right, because of the small studio, we can't keep changing stuff back
Right, but
and
the
forth.
viewer at home would find it more enjoyable to see the questions and the physical challenge interspersed, and that's where you come in, editing the stuff together to make it fun and exciting at home.
Well, we try.
Well, Georgia Lash is our promotions director, and there's a lot to do in promotions, but how do we get people to participate in this game show?
Getting on the neighborhood challenge is so easy. All they have to do, any neighborhood, any group, can simply pick their team. And the actual process of getting on the show is emailing suncitytvhh@gmail.com. And once they give us their team information, we'll get back to them as far as scheduling the actual recording of their show. Now, the important thing I think people need to remember, though, is there's no official neighborhood process they have to go through. It's simply you getting 3 of your friends to go on with you. All right?
We also need a couple subs. Because
well, that's true. Yeah,
we've had people's schedules get changed or a doctor appointment.
Right. But it's a matter of you. Perhaps the social committee might want to organize a group, or just your neighbors that are lined up on your particular street.
Or get 3 other friends.
Exactly. No official process. So no official sanction or approval, and that's great. It makes it very, very easy.
Well, how do we get people to watch?
Okay, now, like all of our monthly shows, Neighborhood Challenge fits a time slot that repeats several times through the week and the weekend. So that's one way. We've got Hargrave 238, Spectrum 1301, and of course, I think the best, and certainly for me the most convenient way to watch it is YouTube. Our regular Sun City Hilton Head YouTube channel, and get on, and that way you can even watch it anytime convenient to you. You can repeat it as many times as you want to see yourself on TV.
You watch it 5 times back to
and
back.
Definitely, and then you send that link to all of your relatives that don't live in Sun City so they can see how much fun we have and how cool is it I'm on a TV show. So
Yeah.
great.
Well, what's next as the show progresses?
I think we're talking about some of the ways this show is evolving. We've gotten some feedback and some really interesting things coming. Rumor has it that our board of directors is going to maybe challenge the Resident Advisory Council. We've heard our computer club has the PC users versus the Mac users. And then, maybe other groups, etc., are talking about this. Now, we even have talked in the studio. Is this legit? That's not a neighborhood. But it's in our neighborhood, so it's still a neighborhood challenge. So we invite you to be creative. Again, grab those other friends, grab people from your clubs, see what you want to do, but come on and have some fun. It's retirement. When else have you been able to do a game show on TV?
Good. And everybody that's been on has said that it's fun.
That's right, and that's the whole part about Sun City.
Good.
Would you come back again?
Yes, we would come back again. The prizes that they gave out were pretty nice, so that's an incentive. But again, it was also a lot of fun. Even if you weren't a winner, I think just competing was enjoyable.
I would.
Absolutely. In a minute, I'd be back.
And I'd encourage everybody to participate, all neighborhoods, because it's a blast.
Experience.
Yeah, it was a great deal of fun.
I felt it was a lot of fun. We got to meet some new people.
I enjoyed it.
No, it was just a fun time.
We lost. But we still had a great time.
And there's one more element that we haven't talked about. Our lifestyles department has been kind enough to provide a $20 coupon for the winning team members so they can enjoy any lifestyle event at a discount of $20. And our health and wellness department has provided a free fitness coupon for each of the winning team members. So if you're on the winning team, there's some extra prizes. So get on the email and get in the show.